Hello, my name is David, and I am the Fatherhood Coordinator at ABC Pregnancy Care Center, and I'd like to welcome you to Session 1 of the 24/7 Dad AM Fatherhood Program. It's a real treat to be able to work with you as you are looking to develop your skills as a father for the best of your children and your family. And it's wonderful to have you here. We're going to start session one today, the introduction and a little thing on family history as we begin this 12-session program. So let's get right to it. This class is a hybrid of the online classes and 3 in-person meetings. We use the 24/7 Dad AM Fathering Handbook for the class. You should have been provided one of these handbooks to use to complete each session. The first 2 in-person meetings will be to review the information learned in the previous 4 online sessions, and the last in-person session will be a graduation ceremony. All right, the textbook, again called 24/7 Dad Fathering Handbook, is the 3rd edition for this program. The book contains the topic information and activities for each weekly lesson. You should also have the provided folder with the worksheets you will be asked to do during these different sessions. Information from the worksheets will also help in completing other weekly activities. I would ask that you please bring the notebooks and folder with you for the 2 Dad Rendezvous sessions that we will have. As we go through the program, you will create a checklist of actions called the My 24/7 Dad Checklist. As we learn how to be a 24/7 dad, we will identify actions we can take on a daily, weekly, monthly, and one-time basis to be as involved in the lives of our children as possible. At each in-person meeting, I will ask to see your completed 24/7 Dad Checklist for the lessons we have covered. At the end of the program, we will finalize our checklist for use after the program ends. At the end of each session, you will complete the What I Learned log in the Fathering Handbook. Dads will record something new they learned during each session and the reason why what they learned will help them be a better dad. To receive baby bucks for each lesson, dads will share with me 3 things they wrote down that they learned in their completed What I Learned log and share it with me via email. Dads will earn 15 baby bucks for each session completed. Now that I've introduced the program, let's start with Session 1, Activity 1, what it means to be a man and my role. So on page 4, there's an essential question at the top. How do we define masculinity and the father's role? So I'd like you to complete the following statements on page 1 of your Fathering Handbook. A. When I grew up, being a man meant that his role in the family was blank. Now, we call this looking at what yesterday's father was and the role that we grew up with, that society had for our fathers as we were growing up. The second question says, today being a man to most guys I know means that his role in the family is blank. So here we're looking at what is the role we believe society has for today's family, or today's father. And C, the way I see it, being a man means that my role in my family is blank, my role. Okay, so the last question asks us to find for ourselves what we see our role being in the family as a man. And so there really is no right or wrong answer for this. It's just looking at the role society we believe has asked men to be as fathers in the past, in the present, and how we interpret that. So I'm going to ask you to stop the video, go ahead and answer those questions. Once you've answered them, you begin the video and we'll go to the next slide. All right, now that we've covered and thought about the role of dads, in activity 2, we'd like to look at the roles of dad and mom. So the question is what are the roles of dad and moms, as well as the role parents fulfill for their children. The activity asks us to think about and identify the roles of moms and dads. For example, some people may feel that a mother's role is a homemaker. Her tasks are clean the house, cook the meals, wash the dishes, etc. So I'd like you to take a few minutes and identify the roles and tasks for dads and moms. Complete the following statement in your fathering handbook on page 1. A. The most important role for my children's mom is blank. B. My most important role is blank. C. Roles that the mother of my children and I share are blank. And D. One role I refuse or hate to do is blank because of blank. All right? You can stop the video, answer those questions, and when you're ready to begin with the next slide, you can start the video. All right, now we've thought about the roles of the dad and the mom and the combined roles. In activity 3, we'd like to answer the essential question, what are the characteristics of the 24/7 dad? The 24/7 Dad AM program is founded on the 5 characteristics or traits that include the qualities and practices of a devoted and nurturing father. It's important to understand that these 5 traits have been researched and have been shown to be the best characteristics and traits that successful fathers practice. Everything we cover in this 12-lesson course is tied to one or more of the 5 traits. So I'd like you to read the definitions of the 5 traits on pages 2 and 3 of the Fathering Handbook to understand what they are. The 5 are self-awareness, caring for self, fathering skills, parenting skills, and relationship skills. So go ahead and stop the video, read through those definitions, and when you're ready to begin the next activity, you start the video. All right, in this session 1 introduction, we've gone through some questions to get us to thinking about the roles of moms and dads. And so we're about done on this first activity, which goes rather quickly. I'd like you to locate the session. I'd like you to locate in session 1 the My 24/7 Dad checklist, which is in your packet. Use what you learned during this session to identify up to 3 actions you can take to develop the habits of an involved, responsible, and committed father. I'd like you to focus on the following. Identify actions you can take on a daily, weekly, monthly, or one-time basis that will have the most impact on your ability to be involved in your children's lives. Check whether you will do it daily, weekly, monthly, or only one time. It's okay if you can't identify 3 items. What is important is that the items you identify will have the most impact. I'd like you to focus primarily on daily and weekly activities. And identify actions that are realistic and as easy to do as possible. And that's the key. Realistic. What's doable? When I taught, sometimes I would ask students if they were behind on something they didn't get it done. I'd ask them to my desk and I'd say, okay, when can you finish it? When can you get it turned in? And often the student will say, I'll get it turned in tomorrow. And I would say, okay, let's be realistic. Okay, let's think about and really be honest about how much time you need, because often, very often, they hadn't turned it in because they had been busy. Many of them worked part-time jobs. Many of them closed where they worked, which technically you're not supposed to do, but nevertheless, businesses do it. And they needed to get sleep. I had some even who worked the late shift at Tyson. And so I would ask them let's rethink this and be realistic. And they'd say, okay, Mr. Rand, 2 or 3 days. And I'd say, okay, let's take 3. Let's say this is Monday when I'm talking to them. Have it turned in by Thursday. And practically 100% of the time, they would turn it in on Thursday. And so, so be realistic, because our lives are busy. So as you're going through the actions you can take, with your child to incorporate these things. Be realistic with life. Okay? And identify actions that are clear, specific, and repeatable. So stop the video, go ahead and fill out that checklist, and when you're ready to finish, you can restart the video. Now before we complete the closing evaluation, I'd like you on the left side of page 4 to write down the number of each question and then the letter you believe is the correct answer for each question. So question number 1. The 24/7 dad has which of the following traits? A. Self-awareness, physical strength, mental strength, parenting skills, and relationship skills. B. Self-awareness, physical strength, caring for self, fathering skills, and relationship skills. C. Self-awareness, caring for self, parenting skills, fathering skills, and relationship skills. Or D. Caring for self, physical strength, mental strength, relationship skill, and money skills. And finally E. I'm not sure. Think about your answer, write it down on the left side of page 4. And after you completed that, restart the video for the question 2. Question 2. When the 24/7 dad uses his fathering skills, he knows what? A. His children's interests and activities. B. His children should go to college. C. The unique gifts that he and their mom bring to raising their children. D. His children need a good relationship with their grandparents. E. 1 and 4, or F. 1 and 3. Stop the video, write your answer on the left side of page 4, and when you're ready, start the video again. Alright, so did you get them correct? The answer to question 1 is C, and the answer to question 2 is F. So to conclude the session, excuse me, I'd like you to follow the instructions on page 4 to complete the What I Learned log on page 4 and 5. Remember to email me at david@abcpcc.org with 3 things you wrote down in the What I Learned log to receive the 15 baby bucks for completing the lesson. We will review these when we meet at the first Fatherhood Rendezvous. So go ahead and stop the video, complete the What I Learned log on page 4 and 5, and when you're done, we'll finish the video. So you should have completed these statements in the What I Learned log in your fathering handbook. One thing new I learned today is blank. On a scale of 0 to 5, how likely am I to use what I learned? 0 being not at all likely, 5 being very likely. And what I learned will help me be a better dad because. Okay. Thank you for participating this week. I look forward to the next 11 activities with you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. God bless. Take care.